Trump and Vance blame the Democrats for the two assassination attempts on Trump. This is not something that President Reagan did after being shot, or President Ford when Sarah Jane Moore took a shot at him, or the Manson cult member Squeaky Fromm pointing a gun at Ford before being restrained by a Secret Service agent. Ford did not use the attacks on his life to fundraise as Trump has done. Tom Nichols wrote an article titled, quote, "Trump is no Gerald Ford," end quote, published yesterday at the Atlantic magazine, that highlights the differences between how Ford and Trump have reacted to an assassination attempt. Prior to Trump, no president has used an assassination attempt to inflame the public. Trump claimed that the rhetoric about him being a threat to democracy was what provoked both attempts. And then, without seeing any inconsistency, called the Democrats the, quote, enemy from within, end quote, and the, quote, real threat to America. Trump has called his political opponents vermin, scum, traitors, and much worse. Trump's political brand for over a decade now has been, and continues to be, using the most outlandish, incendiary, and vituperative language ever uttered by a U.S. president or ex-president in modern U.S. history when describing his political opponents, the news media, or just anyone who's well known that criticizes Trump in any way, no matter how justified the criticism may be. Trump repeatedly calls Harris a Marxist and a fascist, and is constantly fabricating a very dire scenario for the country if Harris becomes president. He constantly constructs stories about how the nation is on the brink of collapse due to some, quote, other, end quote, with the most recent other being Haitian immigrants who are in the U.S. legally and who happen to have a black skin. Trump needs his supporters to believe that America is on the brink of collapse, diving deeper into third world nation status, and to associate that collapse with the Democrats, including Harris, that he's running against in the current election. The goal is to create fear and panic, which is what an authoritarian demagogue will do to acquire and maintain power. Referring to facts that support an opinion that Trump is an authoritarian demagogue is a legitimate subject of political discourse in this election. And there is no reason to believe that pointing out the facts that support that opinion had anything to do with the two assassination attempts by crazies who own assault rifles. Something that Ford and Reagan had no difficulty in accepting that the assassination attempts on them were simply done by crazy people. But that was a different Republican Party then than we have now. Maybe everything will become more peaceful when Trump loses in November. He just needs to be treated as you would any crazy person spouting nonsense and hate speech on the internet. Just tune him out completely, and maybe the Republican Party will once again become sane, though that may take a decade or more given the current well-established insanity created by Trump. As usual, I am citing references supporting my comments in the more section below.